In this video, we'll be going through a high-level overview of the Catalog Builder. The Catalog Builder can be accessed by both admins and editors, and for other more detailed functionality, check out some of our other training videos in the Builder. Now that said, let's jump in. So the Builder is composed of two hierarchies. The first one is categories, as well as their underlying templates. You can see here that this is an operations category, and if I were to recreate this, I can simply click on New Category. You can get started with one of our pre-built templates. For example, if I just clicked operations, that's only filling in the title, description, and long description. And you can also specify how many templates you would like to appear inside of your catalog. You can choose one of our pre-existing avatars or upload a custom one. Now, the same type of idea applies to creating a new template. So once I have an operations category, all I have to do is simply click New Template, and that's going to open up where I can add in a name, description, and choose what type of workflow type I would like to use. If I just clicked on linear and we created test and test, click create, we now jump into the actual builder for this template. This is composed of a summary tab, form field tabs, workflow steps, the ability to preview the ticket, a visual editor, which I cover in a different video, form settings like name, what field shows up in the ticket hub, adding in form help text, attachments, things like that. Permissions is where you can add in additional responders, a really important section, service level agreements, integrations, and business hours. Let's jump into a pre-created one. So I'm going to go to the field service escalation form, and you can see that this one already has 10 form fields with 5 different workflow steps. It shows who is already part of those workflow steps, as well as who's been referenced as an additional responder, what the default priority level is, if an SLA is enabled, and in this case, it's SLA per workflow step, and currently there's no integrations. To make any changes, the first step is to click on Edit Template, where I can then go to Form Fields, and this is where I can add in different fields. I cover things like field properties and conditionals in different videos, but to get started, all you have to do is choose what type of data type would you like to receive, select that option, and then you can go ahead and make different property changes and label what you would like the user to see. After that is workflow steps. I also cover this in a different video, but this is where you can choose the type of workflow, how to add in an additional workflow step, and different properties. For example, if you'd like to have a SLA enabled. This is where you can actually preview the ticket. The visual editor is listed here. Again, I'll cover this in a different video. And then in form settings, you can see I've changed the name, description, changed the primary field, which will show up in the preview field inside the ticket hub, as well as where you can add in attachments and links. For example, if you wanted to have users look at documentation before they actually submit a ticket. The next one is permissions. As I mentioned, additional responders is really important. This is where you can add in different users, so they might not be part of the workflow step, but they can still have access to the ticket. Under service level agreements, this is where you can either have it disabled, have it priority based, where it can be P0 to P4, or have an SLA per workflow step. And in this case, you can select users that you'd like to notify if this SLA has been breached. Integrations is where you can add in inbound webhooks, outbound webhooks, or use Zapier, for example, for a variety of different actions. And finally, we can have business hours enabled. Now, business hours, when they're enabled, this will overlap with or are related to service level agreements, where your SLAs will only tick up if it's within the business hours section. Thanks.